Give me this. Give me that. Give me this. Give me that.
Hi there, everybody. It's the last Friday of the month, so that means it's another episode of PocaTV Live. My name is Poca, which stands for People of Common Attitude. And as I said, this is the second edition of PocaTV Live. Every last Friday of every month is when we go absolutely live. So I told you, if you watched last month, that this is something that will be going on for the coming up months and maybe years. I will continue doing this. And what I do with this little hour or a little more than that is talk to my people all across the globe, because I've got so many very interesting people that I want to share with you, because they do such fantastic work. And they all have a mission to make this a better world for us all to live in. Now, I have a guest waiting today. Well, he was in the studio waiting and he has somehow disappeared. So let's hope that we can get him back in the studio so that we can talk to him. But in the meantime, let me remind you that these live broadcasts of PocaTV will forever be dedicated or livicated to my youngest sister, Aisha, who was the first person to tell me years ago, when going live online really was not something we considered. She told me at the time, don't worry, one day you will be going live with your program and the world will be watching. So how are you doing, world? Let me know that you're there. Just drop me a comment in the comment section, and let's see if we can get you all to join in this, what I feel to be wonderful experience. So thank you, Aisha, once again. Let me just put her up again. Aisha, my youngest sister, who alas is no longer with us. She died 10 years ago from a horrible disease, and well, we all miss her very much. And as I said, she was the first person to tell me that PocaTV at one time would be live and flourishing, which I hope this is the start of. Aisha, forever, never forgotten. So yes, PocaTV Live. What can we do? We can expect my guest hopefully to come back. But in the meantime, the people who didn't see last month's edition, I got a little small clip from that just to give you the vibes. My guest then was my very good friend, my Jewish British friend, now living in Jamaica, Adam, also known as DJ Conscious. And this is one of the many things he had to say.
I've built a sound system, which is something I eventually, when restrictions are lifted, if and when they get restricted, I will be taking my sound system out to who knows which venue, so I can actually expose the roots music live and direct, as it were, in the flesh. And one of my goals is to try, and it's a real challenge, is to try and encourage some of the younger generation to listen to some of the roots music, because a lot of them, they don't know it.
So that was my friend Adam, also known as DJ Conscious of ConsciousRadio.net fame, last month in this PocaTV Live edition. And he was talking about the way that many young Jamaicans don't actually know what most of the rest of the world know Jamaica for, reggae music. So it's his mission to teach them, which is wonderful. Yes, I'm glad to say that my guest has re-emerged in the studio. So let me start introducing him. Like a DJ Conscious, he lives in Jamaica, which is a coincidence. I have friends really all over the world, and for some reason, I'm starting with two people in Jamaica. He is in Jamaica, as I said. His name is Yasus Afari. And Yasus Afari is many things all rolled into one. He is an intellectual warrior. He's an edutainer, a publisher. He's one of the very first people who were ever involved in dub poetry. He's a musician. He's an educator. He does so many things at once. And most importantly, which is the reason I'm talking to him today, he is the initiator of the world famous Poetry in Motion Festival that will be held virtually this coming Sunday. And there's a lot to talk about with him. So let's welcome him now, Yasus Afari. Greetings, Yasus.
Greetings, sis, from across the pond in Jamaica.
Yes, where everything I always think is better than it is here, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, you know, we have a little bit of this there, a little bit of that here. That's why together we are much stronger, irrespective of where we are geographically, where we are culturally, where we are in terms of our religion, you know, our social and intellectual and economic orientations. I think that humanity really needs to come together, and our vast diversity don't have to be a liability, don't have to be a barrier, don't have to be an obstacle. It can be really, as we say in Jamaica, variety is the spice of life. And so our variety and our differences can act as spice and flavor to enrich our humanity and to enrich our individual countries and our individual selves. Yes. So case in point is what you just said. So you have lovely things in Amsterdam. You were legal to burn a spliff at a cafe beside the roadside. That, like I did when I visited Amsterdam in the 90s. That was on a herb fast. I mean, I have to break the fast car. My love is there at the cafe. What we call it? Bulldog Cafe.
Bulldog, we call it.
Right.
And we call it coffee shops for some strange reason. No, actually, I can explain, because they're not allowed to serve alcohol. So you actually go and drink a cup of coffee or tea and have your spliff at the same time. A spliff, for people who don't know, is a joint. Yes.
Yeah, and can you imagine me as a Jamaican, the first time I'm having that experience, me light up my spliff beside the roadside and see the police them come, they take a big sip.
And started coughing at the same time.
No, when they cough, I make them know, say, yo, I'm just inhale and blow it just in time for them. She say, yeah. And you know, it wasn't like an insult, it was quite legal, and it was like me making a statement, say, yeah man, we love the lead with Amsterdam and Jamaica play catch up right now.
if you're not careful, the policeman will light up his spliff right next to you in the Netherlands. Which they do in Jamaica as well, by the way. Yes. So yes, it's such a great pleasure for me to have you with me this hour, or as long as it takes. I know you a little bit, so we might need to cram in a few things, because I know you're a man of words.
Well, yes, I mean, we subscribe to the word as the original, like from the Bible. In the beginning was the word. Well, we don't really need the Bible to tell us that. We know words sound of power, and it's evident in all the creation. So, you know, we hope we can dispense some words to heal and to empower. And to build unity in this time, especially this time when we have the dark clouds gathering. We have to identify the silver lining so that we keep shining.
Is it still there, the silver lining, despite the dark clouds?
Yeah, man. Straight. Yeah. Listen, I'm not in my studio or at home. I am at Crystal House, Jamaica, which is an interesting school that was gifted by an American millionaire. And it is outside Spanish Town, right by Jose Marti.
Which is next to Kingston, the capital, yes?
Between Kingston and Spanish Town, but a little bit nearer to Spanish Town, that roundabout there. And interestingly, they are impoverished students that attend the school from the socially challenged communities, which they call ghetto. But those children are bused to the school in air-conditioned buses, top of the line food, them not short and nothing. If you see the school state of the art of foreign, you go to them school, when me talk about air conditioning in every room, I'm clean like a whistle.
Yes.
And right, it's an interesting day. And so it's Jamaica Day being celebrated. Yeah.
Which is something that you brought into being, Jamaica Day.
Yes. pretty close to 20 years ago, I made a proposal to Bertrell Whiteman, Senator Bertrell Whiteman, who was then the Minister of Education, Youth and Culture. The ministry was designated as such. It has a different designation now. They split culture from education, but then it was Ministry of Education, Youth and Culture. And out of that proposal and subsequent discussions and pulling people together, we started the Culture Agency Program, of which I'm one of the first culture agents in Jamaica. And out of that came the Jamaica Day celebrations, as well as the policy document on culture and education, of which I'm one of I'm the most significant non-governmental contributor.
Yes.
And so that spoke to entrepreneurship, which I personally dub culturepreneurship.
Culturepreneurship.
Yes, culture in tourism, and it also speaks to the government policy document on culture and education, cultural entrepreneurship, as well as cultural tourism.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So
so Jamaica Day is when I know, because I live there part-time. So that's the day when all little children wear the Jamaican colors.
Yeah, and for example, they have this program. I see a copy of the program that they have. So the theme is Jamaica. This year it's celebrating Jamaica reggae, the message of resilience and triumph. And so the focus is on things Jamaican, the history, the attributes, the dreams and aspirations of the Jamaican people, the heroism, the resilience, the tenacity, all the attributes that constitute the Jamaican family.
Yes.
And so they actually almost literally twisted my arms. They had to be there, and I told them about this interview could not be late. I don't practice being late or being absent. And so, how Jamaica people are. Them say, me have to get, me tell them, me now left, me can come back. But they say, no, you have to get blue jars, dokunu,
Dokunu, yes.
coconut drops.
Oh, you got food for a whole month there, yes?
Yes, peanut drops.
Oh, boy, yes.
Greater cake.
What is that one?
Greater cake is a coconut they grate that very fine.
Oh, yes.
And they make it with sugar, and spices, and they insisted it's a vegan, so I should try the vegan lunch.
How was the lunch?
It was good. They prepared it special for me.
That's
there's a teacher here who knows me quite well, and they give me a fruit basket with any amount of fruits and other goodies. So it's a good vibe, and the students perform. I perform myself, so it was a nice energy.
Yeah. So you had to rush away. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So this hour we're gonna try to get to know you a bit better, Yasus, because I know you obviously, but many people don't, and I think they should, because I'm very much impressed by all the work that you do. I was saying I was saying in my introduction the many things that you do. You're intellectual warrior, a publisher, edutainer, dub poet. But let's go back to the very start of, not maybe the very start, but at least when you were a little bit younger than you are now. Oh, the thing gone? Hold on, just a second. Are we seeing this? No, we're not. Here it is, yes. Okay, this one here. Yes, so this is you quite a while ago.
Yeah, a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Looking like a rock star, I must say.
Oh, wow. That's kind.
So what age were you when this picture was taken?
I don't remember the exact month. I do remember the year. So I was 17, 18. Could be one or the other.
Yeah. So what kind of youth? What kind of youth were you at the time?
Rock star.
Well, I saw that correctly. Yeah.
Well, I grew up very sheltered, from a single parent home, even though I had a relationship with my dad. I was predominantly a single parent boy, an extended family. So we were God-fearing, respectful, polite, like girls. Girls never seemed to mind me either. Hence maybe the rock star look. We were trying to be impressive at that age as well.
Yeah.
But I was a youth who was strong in my belief and in myself and in my awareness, and I started gradually to come into my Afrocentricity, and trying to step away from the Eurocentricity, which informed a post-plantation society.
Right. So what prompted you to go the Afrocentric way? What happened in your life that made you think, look here, I'm looking at life from the wrong perspective?
Well, all right. This is right. This picture here, that time it was taken, I was actually still in the church system,
Mhm.
and we go to church, we practice fasting, which I don't mind. I still do that up to this time.
Mhm.
But when we're in the church and we are reading the Bible and we are see Ethiopia, we find out the Ethiopia in the sky, as some people would have us believe. And we are see Egypt and we find out that Egypt is in Africa and a black people. So we are say, hold on, Then how the images contradict all of this. And some of the narrative contradict all of this. And some of the religious and educational and social constructs and constructions.
Mhm.
So we start going ourselves and we had to look at history of school, we had the sociology, we had the physics. We start delve our own self into archaeology, anthropology, ethnography, and add up.
Yeah.
So we start going ourselves. So partially my thing come from an insert, journeying within. We book up on a library and we bury the lie right in the so and
Mhm.
come with the truth.
Yes. Can you remember one book that put you straight, so to speak?
Well, it's a contribution. No one thing, one book never make a man. No one man don't make an island.
Yeah.
But I would think the Bible, as strange as that sounds, obviously Marcus Mosiah Garvey's teachings, especially philosophy and opinion of Marcus Garvey. But an interesting book, which I think was a reference point, is Bertrand Russell, Why I'm Not a Christian.
Bertrand Russell, Why I'm Not a Christian. What about
Yeah.
that book made you think, yo, what's going on here?
Well, because the audacity that he had, and he's a sociologist, and I was pretending to be a sociologist or aspiring to be. I
Mhm.
studied sociology in my teens, and I found it quite interesting. For example, the basic unit of any human society is the individual, and the basic social unit is the family. And family comprises father, mother, and child, and by expansion, humanity is a family which must subscribe to that very basic definition.
Yes.
So we started, like from the Bible, in earth as in heaven, which is the same as so above, so below, so within, so without. So we start make those connections, and we start search and we check the history, and we say, then hold on, then if humanity is a family, we know they keep left out the woman still, but we not join that. So our father, and we just put in our and mother, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. I mean, that
Mm.
look at chemistry too, like astrology. So we look up and see sun, moon, and star. Then we start do look at biology and know the relationship between the womb and the woman, and the relationship between the moon and the woman, and the relationship between the sun and the moon and the stars. So we say, then hold on, then we have to go find the sun in the earth, if
Yeah.
in earth as in heaven. We have to find the moon in earth, if as in earth as in heaven. And if
Yes.
everyone of is a star, then we have to find the mother and father who represent the sun and the moon. This kind of the journey that ultimately led to our embracing Haile Selassie and Empress Menen.
Exactly. Speaking of which, Haile Selassie and Empress Menen, at a certain point, you decided for yourself, Rastafari was the way. And you did an interview a couple of years ago, and I have a little clip of that, of you explaining to the world what exactly Rastafari is. Let's take a look.
I'm from Jamaica, therefore I'm an African who was hijacked and kidnapped from Africa and brought to the Caribbean as an enslaved people. Rastafari is an indigenous and authentic and holistic response to that genocide. So therefore, I and I represent the resurrection and the life that breeds new thoughts, new perspective, new hope into the temple of the family of humanity. That's what it is to be Rastafari in this time.
So you're definitely stressing the fact that it's a holistic movement, liberty, way of life. What is the holistic part of it?
Right, because here this now, sis, as we are talking about the humanity part, so we know so we share one family, the family of humanity. We share one planet. We share one history, one origin, one existence, hopefully, and one destiny. So we always advocate the oneness, us finding ways and means, a formula, so that we all can take part into how humanity manages itself, manages our relationship with the planet, our unborn children, and keep the connection with our ancestors. So when I look at even religion and the whole thing, we see that, I and I are really spirits having physical experiences. So we look at spirituality, even in the words of His Imperial Majesty, as that network which connects us all, one to the other, to our source, which you call God, the creator, wherever you want to say, and to each other, to the universe. And so it's an experiential thing. And so living like Rastafari is an experiential liberty. Therefore, it's not dogmatic. You apply fundamental principles as circumstances necessitate, or if you want to say necessitate. And so, you apply yourself. It's experiential.
So can you name two very important principles that you can adhere to when, in following Rastafari?
Well, you have to know yourself. In other words, I'm in this office now. We have a desk, we have a laptop, we have a table, light, every little thing to make it okay. So it is with us as human beings. We have a purpose, we have a function. So me think that one important step is to know who you be, where you from, who you be, where you from, where you there do. You know what I mean? Where the tool them for do your work. See me pen, yeah? Where you're a writer? All right, so write to the pen. You're a painter, where you brush on the paint there. You know the paint? Go make some out of the heart of the logwood tree. You know what I say? So know yourself and find the resources.
Yeah.
And so you know yourself, you define yourself, you find a purpose, and by all means you go and fulfill that purpose. And so again, one way of knowing yourself is what gives you that sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. Yeah. You call that the intrinsic.
Yeah.
So.
And does it also include your surroundings, your community? Is it just focus on yourself?
No. Because look here now. Remember, we are social beings, and that's why we do the fundamentals of sociology, and we are a family, and we are social beings. So we have to interconnect, and your purpose is really service. In giving you receive, and in receiving you give. So I developed a principle from a long time, I call the IDAPS. Is an acronym. IDAPS. DAPS. So the I is for identity, the D definition, A awareness, and it's a hyphenated P. So purpose and passion, and the S service. So then that's knowing yourself. So it's a self-definition, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So identity, definition. You have to define yourself, control your own narrative, control your own destiny. So you design yourself, and you build your awareness, because we want to make informed choices and informed decisions. So we have to dig into the history, into your environment, your awareness, into each other that you encounter daily.
Yes.
And then passion is a fuel that helps to inspire us, energize us. And then your service, because we have the gift of immortality by virtue of our ability to serve.
How so?
Because memory is the sperm and ovum of life. So once you can imprint yourself, your psychic self, and the collective and individual psyche of humanity, then you are permanently etched. And so you are even present in your absence, even if you are absent in your presence.
I hear you. I'm just thinking while you're talking that in my part of the world, all these notions that you are discussing now are completely gone. People are fully focused on themselves and actually have lost themselves in the process. And it's a hard thing to say, but I think that's reality in the Western part of the world, so to speak.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, and I cannot forget when Barack Obama took a photograph in Africa, the first selfie I see. So we see that even them use with own leaders who had the opportunity to make a difference in the African reality, to kind of engineer and orchestrate some of the like things that are anti-African.
Yes.
Because this whole patriarchal thing that them come up with, we are really a matriarchal society, which I call in my book, Overstanding Rastafari, patriarchy or matriarchy. We don't want to divide and put no gulf between the man and the woman or the child. You know,
Yeah.
it takes a village to raise a child. We have to find, that's why I'm going to really support this male chauvinism or this feminism. We support the idea of a family, both as African people, the indigenous First Nation peoples of the world, as well as the planet and the family of humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I say, so even the notion of black and white is a political term that was orchestrated in the 18th century to divide the people. Because your claim say, you know, like black,
Well,
you know, like white.
most isms are about schisms, aren't they?
Exactly.
Every ism is meant to divide and rule. Just a very quick. I'm seeing that DJ Conscious is in the chat room. My sister is there. My brother is there. Hi, everybody. I know Mom is watching. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom, how you doing?
Yes, let's move on to a little later in your life. Let me get the next picture up here.
No, but before you go any further, sorry.
Yeah.
That clip that you showed with me talking about Rastafari, that was done in Melbourne, Australia, at the Parliament of the World's Religion, of which I'm the first Jamaican and Rastafarian to have represented that Parliament. So it was quite an experience.
It definitely must have been. We're going to talk about your travels in a little bit, but just one little sidestep before we get there. And Australia will be on the menu. I promise you that. This is you with a couple of giants. Yes, I'm seeing Tony Rebel. I'm seeing Garnet Silk, and who's the third one next to you?
Ed Robinson.
Should I know Ed Robinson?
I think so. He had a very popular song, Knock Knock on Heaven's Door.
Oh, okay, yes.
And he's a prolific, I know him from he's going to school. He's a prolific producer, singer. He has a radio program. He's a multi-talented musician. He plays any amount of instrument from he was a teenager.
Yes.
And it has not changed. He has a very productive studio in New York these days as well.
Oh, wonderful.
And that was taken at States, an event called States Appeal, which I did, and had to beg them to give Garnet Silk pocket money to come to the show.
Yes.
And I told them that, listen, before the show keep, you can't even afford for PM, and so said, so done. By the time the show was held, Garnet Silk was huge, like the people said, wow.
Yes. Well, Garnet Silk, of course, is no longer with us, but we do have
in the physical.
In the physical, I must yes, I must say that. But we do have a short clip of you and him out in the open doing what you do best. You're among children, everything.
Hey, I bet you are climbing on
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. All of the dark clouds are fading gone. It's gonna be bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Wash your troubles, wash them all away. Come make you work, fi find a new day. And if you work, you must get your pay. The words of honor, you must have it up. And that the way you must find a new day. Come make you work, fi find a new day.
I think I can make it now, the rain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. The rain is gone that I've been praying for. It's gonna be bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Progress is the name.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Tell us about this. When was this? Where?
This was 1992. That's 19 years ago. At Clarendon College in Central Jamaica, next door to Chapelton, where Linton Kwesi Johnson's from. Interestingly, I'm now doing a project called Building Bridges between students from John Austin in Pennants and students from Wales.
Yes.
And the principal, Ainsworth Williams, who I met 2019, he was a student in that audience, and he's now the principal of a school that I'm doing some work with. So life is interesting. So
It's
that was Clarendon College 50th anniversary celebration, and that was done for JIS, Jamaica Information Service. So
right.
actually, I had to ask. It was my event really, and I brought Silk with me, and so that was Silk's first time appearing on television anywhere. And you know, we always look out for each other. Silk was one of my greatest fans, and
Yeah.
I was one of his as well.
Mhm.
He was so animated whenever we are together. You know, him as a kind of joker, like he has a very great sense of humor. He's very passionate, in full of
And such a wonderful, wonderful voice.
well, devices and that we have to wash out him out and talk about that. Ghana Silk, I call him the human silkworm
Oh, that's a lovely one. Yeah, yeah.
because he's the human nightingale. So
Yes.
part of his duty was really to clothe the people with a vocal garment of silk.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm processing it. I'm processing it. Wonderful stuff. You touched on your work in Wales, and like I said, we're going to talk about your travels as well, because here is you, Yasus, um, amongst children from different countries.
Yes,
What is it you do?
right. What would I call it now? Something like similar to what we did today. What we do, like those, the one on the left was taken in Wolverhampton. The one in the center was taken, I think, in the Menai Bridge area. And the one on the right was taken in Australia. So what we do, for example, in October in the UK, they have a Black History Month. So we will do Black History workshop, speaking to some of the things we were talking about earlier, the shared origin of humanity. When we
Yeah.
started out as a small community, one family in one place, walking naked, and how necessity became the mother of invention. And we would have invented clothes from the very fundamental stuff as covering your nakedness with your hands. And your hand can keep covering every day. So you maybe pick some leaves and then you go graduate to the bark until here we are now with silk and cotton and linen and the other stuff. And so we'll be along the banks of the River Niles. We'll be nomadic people, hunting our foods and stuff daily until we start to domesticate plants and animals. And so the first revolution was the agricultural revolution, and then the industrial revolution. And from one place into Asia Major and Minor, we now populate the earth to close to 8 billion, speaking different languages, different cultures, different religion, different social and ideological and philosophical orientations. But we want to help the students to keep sight of the fact that we have one shared history and one shared planet and one shared family of humanity. And
Yes, I can imagine that many of these children have never seen or spoken to a person like you before, and yet I can see, because I've seen your posts about it, and all I can see is their enthusiasm and their happiness to have you there. So how can you explain that click you make with them?
it's a good question, Arlette. I don't know. I would have to say it's organic, it's intuitive, it comes from the thoughts and the love what I have for them. And maybe I'm a child at heart as well, that maybe has something to do with it. And yeah, you're right. Maybe if you connect, because I was studied by a university, actually how they did the Jewish Holocaust, and so they wanted to do the MAFA, the African Holocaust, and so they were trying to evaluate how I tell hard to tell stories, and they did an impact assessment. So they checked for retention levels, attitudinal changes, awareness building, and they were up to now them can't fathom it, because I do workshop with all 19 different linguistic groups.
Yeah, but what
And
you do poetry with them and songs, or what?
reason, poetry, song, dance, storytelling. We do the entire, it's an integrated arts approach I take. And so one of the answers I gave them, which I'm going to give you now, as to maybe how I am able to, except being innate and organic, but I think as communicate in terms of concepts. Like when you're translating from one language to the next. If you do a word by word translation, it don't make any sense. You have to do a concept by concept translation.
Yeah.
So I communicate conceptually.
So that makes it international, because wherever you go, you can put it into a concept and in a context that will be readily understood wherever you go. That's a wonderful thing, really.
Context, the context define content, because a word is defined by the context in which it is used. And so people's cultures and attitudes and behaviors must be viewed within the context.
Yes. What do you think you leave those children with? What thoughts do you think they have of you now?
Why, listen, it's something that cannot even be spoken, because so what happens is that we do evaluation, sometimes it's a government work for, so we have to do evaluation. And so if you look at the evaluation forms, be it in prisons, in school, mental health institutions, it's interesting. And what happened is that it's almost like it's psychic imprinting. It's like me leave a part of my soul, my essence, my spirit with them. For example, that photograph that's on the right at me looking on the screen in Australia. I did that school. It's a Catholic school at that, an all-white school. You scarcely find, you have some students from mixed families, especially from diplomats who have been stationed there from different countries. So they are like most mixed marriage. You don't have any pure black students at that school in particular. And it's a Catholic school as well. And so one year I was there, and the following year I was there. And when I don't preach Rastafari, I don't preach. No. Because we don't believe that you need to proselytize. People find themselves and be themselves. So whoever you are, you just be the best that you can be. And so that's just a rule that me set myself. Right?
Yeah.
And so even if I'm speaking of Rastafari, we don't speak it in a doctrinal, preachy way. It's just factual, as this is who I am, this is what I represent, this is what I accept, this is what I believe. And so, you're free, and unity don't mean uniformity. We don't need to all be the same. So what happened is that the following year, when I returned to that school, we had 6 dreadlocks that started growing locks from the last time I was there. They were also vegan. And so they were not allowed to join that year group because they had that last year. So it's a new year group now. They led a delegation to the principal. So that cohort, you see, there was largely from the previous group who insisted to the principal they must come into my session. And so they came. And it was really very touching for me, really. And after that session in particular, these students have to be docile, maybe because it's a cold country, a bit different from Jamaica. And when we were driving out the school, the youth, them bus, they break open the gate and they ran behind the car way down the road, which was a bit unheard of.
So still a rock star.
So that kind of give an idea. In other words, no. All right, let me give you another example. Impression that is in evidence. We did a workshop in, I don't remember the name of the community, but it was in England. And we are dealing with minors. I'm a foreigner, I'm a black turban wrap up head master man. So, and I'm very circumspect when it comes to those things as well, and toe the line. And I went into that school with my team the day, and them gang me, literally. I have it on film. When I'm doing my documentary, I show that. They gang me, and I tumbled over, and they all fell on top of me. And you see a heap, a children body heap, and you couldn't see me anywhere to be found.
Okay, so they gang you in love, not in get this man out of, no, in love, yes.
Yeah, they were overwhelmed. I was coming back to the school and so boy, I don't really know if you explain that still, because
I rock star thing that.
I'll give it the last one.
Yeah.
And have photos as well. There's a child in, I think it's outside of Wellington, New Zealand, where I did a workshop for a kindergarten. And there was a child called Desmond who was 2-year-old at the time. I sat on the floor and had the workshop with them. And all of a sudden, Desmond crawled in my lap. So, you're not supposed to make contact with the students first, minors. So I was almost like he's a leper. Not in a rude way, but was, no, this can't happen. and like one of the teachers said, no, it's okay. So when the session was finished now, they was calling to the principal's office. And they said, do you know what happened today? I said, what happened? This child, they say, listen, it's such a huge deal because Desmond is notorious. Don't go to no one can touch him. So when the parents came to pick up, the parents were summoned to the principal office, and guess what happened today? This Rasta man from Jamaica called Yasus Afari, Desmond crawling him lap and him couldn't put him down. Had to conduct I think it was a 2-hour workshop with him in my lap. And up to recently, I was in touch with Desmond. So how you explain that? I don't know, really. Just it's a human
It's the
thing.
vibes. It must
Vibe,
be the vibe. Yes. A quick look in the comment section. I see Jan Koenraad said he might now consider dreadlocks because he's got a COVID coop. He needs to, restyle his hair. and Carlene Smith, how are you? Nice of you to watch. And Lloyd Stanbury is with us. So
Oh, like Stanbury from Kingston, Jamaica.
yes,
Go on,
man. Everybody is here today. Let's move on. I think we need.
Incidentally, Light Stanbury was very instrumental in Garnet Seal's career.
Most definitely. We must big up Lloyd Stanbury for all the work that he does, because the man is relentless in his efforts.
Cole, Steely, and Clevey. We can't name them all, but just through Lloyd this year, we really want to.
Big up Lloyd, because he's keeping reggae alive, and that's something that we really need to do. Let's take just one little short moment in England still, because you done so many things that we really need to show some of them. Let's have a little look at this clip first.
I feel like crying. Oh Lord, I feel like crying. I'm not lying. I really feel like crying. Sometimes I feel like sighing. When I check with situation, even the state of the nation, with economic situation, and then the looting and shooting, and the innocent killing. It's like we life got no meaning, just like we don't have no feeling. It make me feel like crying. I feel like crying. Sometimes I feel like sighing. So when I check out South Africa, and how the blacks them are suffer, and then I think about Ethiopia, and how we face with hunger, then me go remember Jamaica, and how the people them are suffer. I'm about to look to the foreigner, Europe and Canada, Australia and India, and then forget about Africa and the Caribbean area. It make me feel like crying. I feel like crying. I'm not lying. I really feel like crying. Sometimes I feel like sighing. Take it low. Know whether it is free to be dumb, or it is dumb to be free. This one is entitled Freedom. Free the prisoners. Because prisoners can't prison prisoners. Thieves and murderers cannot condemn thieves and murderers. We have to bring it come. We must bring it come. And if we bring, we freedom come. We have to bring it. We must bring it come. And if we bring, we freedom come. Tear the shackles off your minds. The chains from your hands and the chains from your feet. Free up your body and your mind. The prisoners are in the streets. The streets are in the prisons. You're a product of your environment. So the crooks are the architect of this establishment. So listen to me reasoning and start an argument.
I wish we could go on and on with this. What is this? You are there in England with a huge orchestra and a room full of old white people, and they're just sitting there watching you. Tell me about this.
And the people, them said the mayor fell in love with me. She was at the front, and she was quite charming lady. I engaged her at one point, and playfully. I'm not into disrespect, but I'll be forthright and sometimes witty with how we tell the narrative. And how we challenge some of the stereotypes, and how we advocate for Africa, redemption. And so that was in North England, called Huddersfield, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Leeds TV. I remember distinctly, huge big band. Didn't have much time for rehearsal, so we have to
No,
say
but
we
you even taught them to go low,
yeah, yeah.
which is a very Jamaican thing.
Yeah. And that was very, very, very well received, to be honest with you. I did quite a bit of work in Bradford area and in Huddersfield and I remember some other places, but all around that era, we still have a very good link with that era. They remember quite a bit of the stuff we did, both on stage and in the schools and in mental health. I did a residency in a mental health institution, lived among the inmates. So we do quite a bit of thing using poetry
As a
to serve
vehicle.
as a vehicle for social renewal, social intervention, social transformation, to challenge narratives and to advocate and to do pilots. For example, I did a pilot for the penal justice system in the UK, which has now changed the reality of the penal justice system in the entire United Kingdom.
So how can you explain that power that poetry has? Why is it that people all over the world feel something with poetry? Even if they say they don't like it.
Right, let's try to give you a concise answer. It may be sound a little bit complicated still, but the ability that human beings have to reason, to remember, and to develop scientifically and technologically and so on, I think that started from poetry. I think that innate ability that was uploaded in the original man were done in poetic memory codes. So we are really accessing and excavating retentive memory from that first upload. And you see the intimacy so in that sense now, language is really the essence of the mind, and poetry is the currency of language and the language of the soul. And so just like what I said, conceptually, we communicate with people from different linguistic and social and religious orientations. And so it is that poetry speaks to the innate, speaks to the spiritual embedded DNA that is common to all of us.
Yes, DJ Conscious is commenting that poetry is universal, like music.
Exactly.
Do you see that
No.
link as well?
No, but hear this. I'm happy you said that because I'm happy Light is here as well. Every song, by definition, is a poem set to music. By definition, these are not my sentiments now, are purely my sentiments. I share that sentiment, but it's from the definition, and we challenge all the musicologists. A song is a poem set to music. So
a song
every
is
song
a poem set to music. Yes, makes
every
sense.
every song started out as a poem. Every song, and the DJs are included here as well.
Yeah.
Every musical composition is really a poem painted in sonar tones and melodies and notes and chords and textures. So poetry is at the root of every cultural, emotional expression.
And it works on people on the DNA level, you're telling me.
Exactly. And we're talking to our hardworking, one of the hardest working parliamentarians is Minister Olivia Babsy Grange. I mean, I tell you this, Minister, until you go to the basics, because if the 1 cent don't have a value, the $5,000 bill don't have a value.
That's so deep. That really is. If the 1 cent has no value, the $5,000 has no value either.
So if you don't put some energy on the fundamentals of music and of the songs and the DJs and the music, which is poetry, then you're going backwards.
Okay. We're going to get to talk about poetry, but let's take a little break from this story about who you are, because I have a little test to run with you, and you're going to be annoyed because you can only give me one answer and you cannot elaborate, Yasus Afari. Can you manage that?
No, but me try still.
Let's try. We call it on the spot. 5 quick questions. 1, are you an early bird or a night owl?
Both.
So you never sleep?
Depends.
Okay.
Me sleep both day and night.
All right. You sleep when sleep catches you. All right. Second question. What comes first? Reparations or repatriation?
They are twin ideals.
I keep asking you questions that are both answers.
Well, I mean, I have to be true to myself. In other words, just like how the Christian talk of faith and work, one is dead without the other.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of reparation and repatriation, one is dead without the other. They are intrinsic because, in a sense, repatriation is a function of reparations, especially in the transatlantic context.
So that means actually reparation needs to come first before you can repatriate.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
But they are twin ideas. They have to go part and parcel with each other.
Yes.
If you separate them, a dead business that. Yeah, cut off the root from the tree.
Yeah. I'd love to get into this really deeply with you, but we really don't have time for the question about reparation and repatriation. We need to reschedule for that, because I think it's a vastly interesting topic that is very actual at the moment. But we'll get back to this at another time. Question number 3: vaccine, yes or no?
No.
That's clear. Why?
Because we not trust the system, and we have the many examples. We can enumerate some if you care, but we are a people who have been victim of the transatlantic genocide, where African people and other First Nations people were gang raped by the same powers that pretending to have our best interests at heart. And we are the head of our sovereign being. So we decide who we give entrance to. It's a form of rape when you want to violate that sovereign right, just like when a man rape another human being. And these people are proven rapists historically.
Yes. But other people might say it's going to be the same vaccine that they put into your body as they put into President Biden's body.
Who care about Professor Biden? We don't trust them neither. Professor Biden gonna put water. We no business with that. Him can't do what him want to. Okay. Him is him own sovereign being. And at the same time, they enjoy privileges that we don't. We are people who are just emerging from being chattels.
Yeah.
Who you know possess your own life.
Yeah. And there's a history in Jamaica that people might not be aware of women being administered medication for decades, I believe it was, under the guise of birth control, and it turned out to be that they were test material. Can you elaborate on this?
We don't know if we have to. Just go back to even the Bible, where they call the Bible, because whether or not true or false, once you can imagine it, it can happen. It's like the firstborn were killed in Egypt. Well, we are the figurative, metaphorical Egypt. And the still agenda is there to kill with first and second and third born.
Why so they were? Yeah.
Look here, my sister, as you well know, maybe you're saying these things for your audience, but it's a power struggle now. And the whole ultimate goal is to possess the souls of men. People, if you study quantum entanglement, you will realize that many of the policies that governments and institutions and ministries are orchestrating right now is really to have access to your soul beyond the grave.
So what good would that do anybody to have your and my soul?
Not me, I don't know about you, but me I say no. What happened is that, look here, mind control is the highest form of governance. The human being has been trodden from before flesh was invented. So it's a treasure trove of the matter and stuff of which the universe is constructed. So just like how them study the outer space and the dark matter, the melanin matter, just like you would need the black box to know the experience of the plane and the pilot. The soul is the black box of the human being because it is a melanin temple. So you get to intervene in the realm of the omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. So therefore, it is a struggle between good and evil, which they call God and Satan. It is right and wrong. It's a power struggle for people control. And is a resource, is the ultimate resource, because material resource, human resource, intellectual, psychological, spiritual resource. So this resource is power struggle.
So what you're saying is to be self-sufficient and to be what's the other word you used?
We in charge of your sovereign self. So
Sovereign self, yes.
Yeah. Become a sister, just like if we said to the minister a while ago, and to the finance minister as well. If the 1 cent have no value, forget about it for the $5,000 bill. So that's why people talk about individual rights and liberty as well. And the same thing applies to sovereignty. A nation is sovereign because the component parts of the nation really speak to the sovereignty of the individual, and so hence by expansion you have the sovereignty of a collective people.
I hear you. It's all complicated, but I think I get the gist of what you say.
No, I say, listen though, if the individual not have no sovereignty, how the nation will have sovereignty when
that's the point you're making. Yes, because the two are combined and they are a mirror of each other.
And one cocoa full the basket, man. When the basket full, nobody look and says a full basket is now one cocoa full the basket. Means to say each one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 10 cocoa, but it started from 1. You walk in from here to Amsterdam at the Poca studio. We have to start somewhere, to the airport, to the plane, to the ship, to the boat, whatever. Yeah. So it's step by step.
Gotcha. Question number 4. Your largest energy flow goes to family or to work? Don't say both. Choose. You must choose.
Ah, boy. Let me say family.
Family?
Because you see, because really, really family inspire me for work still. So we could have say family and stop it right there. So.
Okay, we'll keep it at that. And the last one, what is the one thing you'll never, ever, ever do again?
One thing I'll never, ever do again?
Yeah.
Rockstone. I have to answer you today. I have to answer you today. All right. What I'll never do again? Anytime me repatriate to Africa, I'll never left the womb and bosom of Mama Africa. Never. Even if the sun drop out of the sky and the moon turn to blood. That means to say we are architects of the black resurrection. And so we are living that death must die. You see, anytime Africa redeem, we are going to stand up around Mama Africa like the mountains around Jerusalem. We now go nowhere. Where we'll be into a state of kinetic inertia.
Well, you can really say that, but at one time you were in Mama Africa, and still you left it and came back. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that.
No, it's a different thing that migration. Migration different from redemption.
True. But I'm trying to make a little link here from topic A to topic B. Yasus, you have to bear with me.
Not wrong. No,
not wrong.
I work with you.
All right, good. Let's have a look of you in Africa.
Kade, Zimbabwe, and Depe, Wagwan, run things. African redemption. Move along. Full time without any repatriation.
Move along. If you can't stand the pace, get out of the race. And if you can't stand up strong, then you got to move along. If you don't open your eyes, then you pay the price, yes. Cause you're surely bound to lose.
Mama Africa, me love you. Zimbabwe, me need you. Mama Africa, me love you. Zimbabwe, me need you. From ancient time, them thief is on you. Spread fear like your rumor upon you. Trying the best, let me neglect you. But what I want to do, me now forget you. Right now, me say me love to see you. And when me come forward, me never let you again. Me and me wife and me children there. Mama Africa, me love you. Zimbabwe, me need you.
This time will be the last chance. This time will be no other. No. If you can't stand the pain.
Yes, man. Lovely. How did you get to be in Zimbabwe?
It's a long story. We try to cut it short. One time I was going to Ethiopia and I met some Zimbabwean youth in the airport. So one time I was in the UK on a tour, and I got a call from an email, I think it was first, from Zimbabwe. And so two brothers were in a car driving in Zimbabwe, and I think it's Capital FM was playing I Can See Clearly with myself and Garnet. So one of them said, "Me know that Rasta man, I met him in Man said, "Shut up, man. You don't know the man, shut up." He said, "Of course I met." And they had a long argument, and he said, I have an idea how I can get in touch with him. And the Virgin said, "We would love to have him for Haifa." I had a song which went to #1 in Zimbabwe called Crown Him, that was produced by Bobby Digital.
I never did know that.
Yeah, and the 2-year-old with him, Crown Him. That came out on an album with Shabarang's Kokoti and the whole work. So anyway, so that went to #1. So they had wanted me for Haifa, Harare International Festival of Arts, one of the biggest festivals on the continent.
Because the camera person never showed us how many people were there. How many people were there?
No, I'll soon tell you that.
Oh,
so ultimately they got to me, and so obviously I was there. No, I'm going to call names here now. Sizzla was in Zimbabwe the same time, and his traveling mate, Caveman. Caveman was my mixing engineer, because when I find Caveman, I still buy engineers. I have my Jamaican engineer now. So that was Yasus Afari in concert, 2 days back to back, sold out. I think about 2,500 people each day, sold out. And it was Transit Crew. The only other act on the band was Transit Crew, where you say back in me. Sold out, back to back, the same venue, one day after the other, 2,000 odd people. Caveman, somebody called Caveman and asked me if I true.
We believe you. That must have been a fantastic experience.
Yeah, and then people are talking about it up to this day, because I addressed Morgan Changarai and Robert Mugabe. I said, when brothers fight, only the enemies benefit. You two people need to get your act together. People were shocked out of them wits, because you don't talk to Mugabe like that in Zimbabwe.
Well, it's like Brother Bob Marley did with the Jamaican politicians. That is, everybody knows that footage of him joining the hands of those two rivals. So you did the same thing in Zim.
Pretty much, and they were there. To be honest with you, I say something that I've never spoken about publicly yet. I was invited to meet with President Mugabe, and I refused. I refused on condition that if I won't be given a equal meeting with Morgan Changarai, I won't meet the president, because I don't want to play politics with I work.
Well.
And so me have a principle when me use govern my thing them way they call. We know how the politicians them work, whether them in Africa or way back, and we don't want to be used that way by ZANU or no one else. So it was quite an interesting experience there. But interestingly, I didn't know you were going to play that at the point, and even if you listen to the lyrics, what I said to you was really what I said in the music. And so I consider myself as helping to build Jacob's Ladder. So when Jacob's Ladder finish build, we are going to take it up.
Why take it off?
Take the bridge, man, as a military tactics.
Okay.
So
No, explain, because I'm dense here.
The Jacob's Ladder, I got connect us. Remember, we were the people who were crucified on the cross of slave and colonialism and buried in the sepulchre of death and captivity. And the tomb became a womb and give birth to I and I. So we have crawled out of the plantation and go forward to the land. And when we go forward to the land, we now gonna come again. We are going to turn one place in kinetic inertia. So we don't need the leather again. We are chop the leather. We are blow up the bridge.
I see.
And turn away yard.
Right.
Stay at home. Stay at home.
The whole thing is one circle. Everything goes full circle all the time. Not true. Not true.
It's interesting, this conversation we're having here. But let me take this opportunity. Me and do a seed brethren in Zimbabwe. We are planning a concert. I hope me not pray me oneself, but we can't resist. And it's such a good vibe between you and I. We're planning a concert for between Africa and the diaspora, pivoting on the relationship between Jamaica and Zimbabwe. And this is set for May 25th this year, which is African Liberation Day. And that came out of this very same tour and festival.
That's going to be virtual, I expect.
Virtually.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would say I'm packing my bags and I'm coming with.
Well, pack your virtual bag, man.
Virtual bag, yes. Speaking of virtual, see what I did there? This upcoming Sunday is a very huge day for you. That will be the virtual staging of the world famous Poetry in Motion Festival that you are putting on for the 18th time, I believe.
Yes, it's our 18th staging. So
Yes.
we started on February 29, 2004.
Yeah.
And so it was our 18 consecutive annual staging. And for the first time, it's virtual. Last year, it was February 23rd, couple weeks before the country was locked down. So we had one of the last public events. And
I was there.
And we yeah, certainly were, and we're a hit as well. And Poetry in Motion 2018, 2021, our 18th anniversary on Sunday, February 28th, is one of the first virtual events for the year, one of. Yeah. And so that's quite significant. So it is this Sunday, February 28th, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Guess what? PocaTV made you a little promo, so why not play it? Not true.
Which is a hit, and we are so grateful. People love it. I tell you.
Big up. Let's have a look.
I forgot to manage that part of your career.
Yeah, man, that's going to be my next career. It's my number 27 career. Here's that clip that we made for you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Se01E02 Edutainment presents Poetry in Motion 2021, the virtual edition. Sunday, February 28th at 3 p.m. Live stream on IRI FM and JTVR on YouTube, IRI FM on Facebook, plus live intermittent broadcast on IRI FM radio. Featuring Benjamin Zephaniah, Yasus Afari, Professor Rupert Lewis, Stephen Wise, Kabumat Karu, Dr. Charmaine Gooden-Monteith, Leighton Smith, Mark Stevenson, Martin Matthews, Mick, Style Jamaica, and more. Sponsors: Poetry in Motion 2021, Sunday, February 28th, 3 p.m. Clean, intelligent fun for the entire family. Be there. Be there, yes. We're going to be there virtually, not true. And let me tell the people again, go to IRI FM on YouTube and you will find it. Or go to IRI FM JA on Facebook and you will find it. And let me tell you something. There is nothing like a Jamaican festival. This is for people in Taiwan or Australia. There is nothing like a Jamaican festival when it comes to vibes and when it comes to interaction with the crowd. That's a special thing that you've got going on the little island, Yasus. Yes, what is that?
There's nothing like an intimate poetry festival. It is the reunion of souls. It's a family reunion of souls. People speak of this event like, we did this right. We could do this better. We should do that. We shouldn't do that.
It's a collective thing.
It's a collective thing.
That's
right. And that is why people know that I'm really candid. So that is why maybe the event is not held at TVJ like we did with Jamaica Poetry Festival. Because one time Grace Kennedy offered us a tour of Jamaica. And because we are into community building and consensus building, I put it as a Q&A to the people, and they said, no.
Keep it to ourselves.
Yeah, keep it to ourselves. And because I want to be loyal to the people who have been so loyal to the event, I decided, no, we are streaming live from Mandeville, even though it is costing more. But what is that cost to honor the loyalty of the people who have made this event?
Yes. I have a little clip that you don't even know I have. This was in 2018. That was my first time I went to Poetry in Motion, and I was way in the back of the room. I think there were about 800 people there, and you on stage. Quick look.
Okay.
So we want more love in the community. We stop the tribal war and the hypocrisy. So give us the teachings of Daddy Garvey, King Emmanuel and His Majesty, the might and the power of the Holy Trinity. Because Babylon not trying to destroy humanity. What a sin! What a piece of sin thing! Oh, what a piece of winding! What a sin thing! What a piece of sin thing! What a sin thing! Oh, what a piece of catering! What a sin thing! 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 What a saint.
Such a great vibe. I miss all of it. I really do. I can't wait to be back there.
Aldi,
Mm.
in a good way, you cannot be trusted, you know.
What do
We
you
don't know what you will do next. You always come up with the goods.
That's me.
Even that ad. And the other day, when Daddy Hura jump out of flesh, and I say, Aldi goes up, boom. I say, Aldi, you need to send me the photo there.
That's me. That's why I have no family, Yasus, because I'm always busy doing stuff, and I wouldn't have time for.
No, but that's the paradox. That's why your family is so extended.
Well, that's the way I feel. Because
Yeah.
you and I are family too. Over the years,
Not two. Why you have to say two? We are family one.
we are family first. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, mommy, thanks for giving us this gorgeous, wonderful woman here.
Thank you for that. So, big names coming this Sunday. Benjamin Zephaniah, who's world renowned. We sadly have to miss Kabu Matkaru this time because we've heard about her sorrow. She has lost the patriarch of her family, and we send her all our love. But big names coming. I'm thinking, who is Pingwing?
Hold on first.
Mm-hmm.
Candice jump left Kabuso.
Mm-hmm.
Kabu has been with this event from the inception in some shape or form. She has leave of absence. However, as she always say, I am my ancestors. So she represents the ancestral spirit. And we'll find a way, trust me on that, for that to be the case. Even in her absence physically, she'll be present ancestrally and present as she present in being who she be. We'll find a way to share her essence, trust me on that, with the people. So we now allow her to be absent even though she has leave of absence. And so that allows a mystic intervention and connection on her behalf and the behalf of the ancestors and the African family which she's charged with reuniting and developing. So you can look out for that. And so Pingwing is a veteran comedian who has migrated to London for quite some decade. We did some tours in the UK, and we wanted. He has a visual challenge.
Mm-hmm.
He's visually impaired, and so we want to reconnect him with home and with his people. Something that he has always desired to do, and so we are happy that this time around we are able to do that.
Yes.
And so Benjamin Zephaniah, who, as I said, is world renowned. He is an interesting person. He was incarcerated in the UK at the tender age of 14, and he transformed himself, and now he has over 10 PhD. He's a professor at 2 universities. He have over 25 books. You have to study his poetry by law in the UK. He's currently filming a movie. He does documentary for the BBC. He did one on Ska some time ago. He's very prolific, very hardworking. He has his roots in Jamaica as well. His mother is from Treasure Beach. His father is from Barbados. He was born in the UK, grew up in Handsworth area, Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a good friend of mine. We keep in touch, and so we are honored, totally honored, and he's also honored as well.
He is. I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah.
He was saying he's looking forward. One thing that's interesting about Benjamin Zephaniah. At one point they wanted to give him this award, OBE maybe even.
OBE, yeah.
And he declined. What's the story behind that?
Well, himself not feel good to take it from someone who is responsible for the power that is responsible for the genocide of Africa.
Yes.
So him tell her if he put it which part the sun never shines. So we don't really know where that is because we think the sun shines everywhere. So
at some point, yes.
Obviously them have some secret which we now try get into, but him was very, very strident in his refusal. I would still say fairly respectful because him could have tell them where he put it, but him say where the sun never shines. So he must not put it here, so put it somewhere else. I'm not sure what that means. But Stephen Wise is also on the event, who's a close friend of Stevie Wonder, who said recently if he were not recovering from his kidney transplant, he would certainly do a cameo. But because he's recovering, he's not sure if he'll be able to. We have Professor Rupert Lewis,
Yeah.
Dr. Charmaine Gooden-Monteith, Viv Morris Brown, who's a storyteller, Mark Stevenson, who's an excellent reggae violinist, Mick,
Mick,
Leighton,
yes, Mick is your daughter, isn't she?
Yes, yes, she certainly is. My 8-year-old young daughter and my advisor, friend, confidant, business partner, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
She's my mother as well, so we call her Mama Mick, even though she protests. But the other day she said, "Daddy, you're a good son." I said, when I call you Mother Mick, you argue with me. No, you're saying, which daughter would say you're a good son?
I wonder where she gets that from.
What?
That wit of hers.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I must come from you that, yes. So she will be performing as well. And
Yes,
and that long list of people.
Yes, Leighton Simit, Pingwing, obviously, Dr. Winsome Miller, Martin Matthews, as well as Style Jamaica, and certainly yours truly.
What is Style Jamaica? Tell us about Style Jamaica.
Well, on man, you hear me say yours truly, and certainly yours truly as well, who is Yasus Afari, right? Style Jamaica is really the fashion segment, because Poetry in Motion is music, dance, and comedy, storytelling, fashion, and poetry. They are a product of the Ministry of Tourism through the Jamaica Tourist Board and the Tourism Enhancement Fund. So they have this annual fashion showcase held in Montego Bay called Style Jamaica. So we have highlights of Style Jamaica being featured in our fashion segment and Poetry in Motion this year.
So the whole thing is going to be as if we were there, except we'll be watching on our screens.
Definitely. So it is real time.
Yeah.
Live and direct. That's why we don't tell the people where it will be being from, though most people suspect. But we want to be responsible, and we don't want any problem with the government.
No, we don't want too many people to come.
No.
Yes.
We are still within protocol. That is not up for debate. And so it's just the people who, and we have a revolving door as well. So some people have got to do what them to do and cut, as we say in Jamaica. Do what you have to do and leave, so that we can adhere to the protocol.
Yes.
Even if you have a different view, we still working as a people of a country, and we in a crisis. So we don't want to be irresponsible and individualistic. We want to keep to the protocol, and so we adhering to that amount. So it's just performers, IRFM crew, because we're doing an intermittent live broadcast, and they are a principal sponsor, and a few representatives, for example, from the Jamaica Tourist Board, IRFM, VW Invest in Cambia, and our video crew, and that's it. So we're doing the social distancing, we're doing the amount of people allowed in the venue at any given time, and so on. So that's Sunday, February 28th, 3 p.m.
That's Jamaican time. Let me translate for this side of the world. That's 8 o'clock p.m. in the UK and 9 o'clock p.m. in Central European time. And then the other people can just do their own maths. But
right, and the information is on online as well. So thank you very much for that timely intervention. And so it's 3 p.m. Jamaica time. We're over by 5 p.m. Jamaica time, and we are available on IRFM on the YouTube, IRFM JA on Facebook, as well as Jamaica TV radio one word. So Jamaica one word, TV radio one word. So Jamaica TV radio on YouTube. And many people are requesting links. We are thinking about it. We'll give a few more people links, but those are the principal links. And then we'll have intermittent broadcast on the #1 reggae radio station on the planet Earth, which is IRFM. So if you can check out that on irfm.net, or if you have your radio, just tune in. But most people say they want to see what I go on. So I think on YouTube, I do it on Facebook.
True. Well, you can rest assured I will be watching. I'm going for the weekend to my mom's, and we're going to be watching it together. So you know how it goes. We're going to be there.
We can send love to mommy and our gorgeous daughter, Aldit and gorgeous mommy, whichever way we feel to take it.
Both is good. We take both. Yes.
And I must take this opportunity to big up the Jamaican embassy in Japan. I'm doing a performance for them 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I saw a flyer. Wonderful.
Jamaica time.
Many people don't know about the link between Jamaica and Japan. That's the only
No.
two countries that start with Ja.
And they sit beside each other at the United
United
Nations.
Nations because of their names. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and reggae is huge
Yeah.
in Japan.
I've been to Japan several. I've performed to 40,000 people in Yoyogo Park in Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah.
And already we are planning something for Japan after the pandemic. But in the interim, we are doing something in June as well. So you'll hear more about that. But you can check out this event tomorrow morning, Jamaica time, 6 a.m. Mighty Crown, Renaissance. A few other people and myself will be doing that for the Jamaican embassy. And so we salute you, Ambassador Richards, and the staff.
You are a busy bee, Yasus, and I'm very impressed with everything you do. And I know that what you do comes from the heart and is all about, you know, the principles that you live by. So that to me is a true man and somebody to, you know, to take into account. So big up yourself for all the work that you do.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you. So I'm going to let you go because I know your schedule is very tight.
And the people them call me already. Me have one.
Tell them a PocaTV live. I'm not joking.
No, the Poca not joker. And so yeah, it was really, really, really a good experience. If you give me permission, or maybe me not bother take no permission. It was a brilliant mental intercourse. It was really exchange of energies of the mind and intellect, and you always do that and bring the goods and inspire the goods. And I've thoroughly full joyed. Notice me, they even say enjoyed. I full joyed the experience.
That's great.
And the opportunity as well. And we want to bless you with your continued work, PocaTV and the whole thing. We'll be hearing a lot more. The synergy just beginning. So people can look out for more works between Poca as well as the synergy with myself and the events that we do, Poetry in Motion, Jamaica Poetry Festival, and the new entity that my daughter is responsible largely for, which is Jamaica TV Radio, JTVR.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, that's my sister commenting. She says, thank you for sharing your inspiring views.
So that's why you keep your sister so far from me so long? We don't know about
she soon come, man. She soon come. You just have to be patient. Yes, Adrienne. Yes, thank you for that, Adrienne. Yeah. Yes. It's an ongoing thing, and we're going to keep it that way. And I wish you all the very best for this upcoming weekend that's so full of joyful things. And rest assured, we'll be there watching. All right.
Thank you very much. And again, for that beautiful ad that you did for us. We are so grateful. And
next time, just ask me and I'll do it.
All right. But we love when you do it freely from your heart, it's better. So
it's not true. Because we never were expecting it. I know that. So
no. Drop out of the sky. And between me and you, drop out of the sky just when me I say rock stone, we could have do with a night. And then boom. I said, shut up.
You called it synergy. I must that.
Yes,
synergy.
Thank you.
Thank you again, and see you soon. See you Sunday. I'll be seeing you. You won't be seeing me.
I see you, man. I see you. Your energy will be there in front of it.
It will. It definitely will.
And mommy too.
True. We're gonna dress up nice, put on a lipstick and thing, and watch the screen.
So how you know? So because that event, I'm happy you said that, because that event is an elegant affair.
Elegant affair. Yes.
That's really elegant. So although you're there, you don't think we now see you. Just to push foot, as we say in Jamaica.
You'll be feeling it if you don't see it. That's the truth. Yes. All right. Big up. Best of luck. Enough love. Yasus Afari. Irie. One love.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hold on. Let me remove. Yes. Bye-bye. So that was Yasus Afari. What a wonderful chat I had with him. And do remember to, if you love poetry and if you understand the need of poetry that this world has, do join in on Sunday, upcoming Sunday, the 28th, starting at 3 p.m. Jamaica time. Let me repeat myself. That's 8 o'clock in the UK at night and 9 o'clock in Amsterdam, Paris, Germany. And you can be joining on the Irie FM YouTube channel or the Irie FM JA Facebook channel, and JTVR on both channels as well. So there's a lot for you to go look for. And also next time that you will be seeing me will be on the last Friday of March. And I thought I had a little something made up ready for that, but I don't. It's the last Friday of March. I forgot the date. It's probably the 26th, just like it is now. And my guest then will be Uwe Banton, who is a Rasta from Germany, a white Rasta from Germany. Make sure that you join us then, but I'll be spamming you. You know that I will. So that's almost it for me today. It's time for me to say goodbye and to thank you all for your comments. I saw them all. I just didn't have time to respond to all of them. Thank you for joining me, and see you again very soon. Bye-bye.